Hey, Ray. Yeah, question for you. Where is, what's our hashtag for this show? It's what?
Can't nobody hear you?
I can't either.
Underground.
It's just Underground we're going with?
ABTV Underground.
Oh, ABTV Underground. Okay.
You're tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
What up, you guys? This powerful intro, of course, has to be for a powerful show. We are doing the AfterBuzz recap of WGN's Underground. This is a great new show. I'm excited. Yes. Season 1, Episode 1, The Macon 7. I'm one of your hosts, Megan Thomas, at Big Scoop on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Periscope. And I'm here with my lovely co-host. Who are you?
I am Jamie Banks, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JamieBanks_.
Oh, me.
Yes, you.
I am Gary Thomas, and of course, I am Gary Thomas on Instagram and Twitter, and I am GaryThomas.com.
And I'm Lina Green at Just Lina Green on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Everything, all the stuff out there.
All the stuff, all the stuff. Gary, you're like my long lost cousin.
I know, right? I was about to say that.
Maybe our families were like slaves and they got separated. We got separated to different plantations. Okay, let's start with initial reactions for this series.
Wow, yeah.
Start with you, Lina, go.
My initial, I was like tearing up. I'm like, I can't watch this, and I cannot deal with that kind of violence.
Okay, give me one word.
Crazy.
Okay.
Crazy.
Gary.
Excited.
Okay, Jamie.
Intense.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm gonna go with liberating.
Oh.
Yes, I'm excited to see where this goes.
Hashtag liberated.
Liberating. Speaking of hashtags, make sure you use the hashtag ABTV Underground and let us know what you think about this series. Let us know what you think about seeing this first episode, because we'll be reading all of your tweets as you guys do this throughout this episode and the upcoming episodes. So let's talk about the characters in this show. We've got the main character, Noah.
Yes.
Played by Aldous Hodge. Great actor, by the way.
Yes. He was on Straight Outta Compton.
Yes. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Really
He's
good.
been on sci-fi. I mean, he's a great actor. Shout out to you, Aldous. Hey.
I was happy to see Bay, Journey Smollett.
Yes.
He's still my heart.
Shout out to Journey Smollett-Bell, who plays Rosalie. So let's, we've got somebody, who is this? Is this our, okay. If you're tweeting, let us know, and then our engineer will let us know so we can shout you out. So let's talk about Noah. What are your initial reactions about Noah?
I think he's definitely very brave. He was brave enough to go venture out and plan out his escape, and I was impressed by that.
Okay.
He's a strong character. I think we're going to see him as, the leader of all this. At first, I thought it was going to be Josie Journey. Smollett. I don't know why I always do that. Her character, but it looks like he's going to be the one initiating everything, and,
Okay.
I think that I was a little apprehensive when I first heard about him, because I haven't seen him really dive into showing like so many sides of his acting. So seeing him in this show, it was definitely it was better. It was way better to see him in a more dramatic role and just kind of seeing him be in the forefront. Because Straight Outta Compton we've all seen, but he wasn't a main character.
Right.
So we got to really see him act in this series now.
Right. And this actually isn't his first lead in the series. I forgot the name of it. It's on Sci-Fi if you guys know.
Yeah, that's too.
It's I forgot the name of the show, but he was a lead on that show. He's a series regular, so this is not his first, but he is the number one main character, I think, on this show. As far as that one, there's like 7 leads, so he kind of shared the role. But the hashtag that we're going to use is Underground WGN. So make sure you guys use that hashtag so we can see all of your tweets and your comments. Again, that's hashtag Underground WGN. Okay, so we see that he is, quote unquote, not escaping to freedom, right? He's just testing the waters. He's telling them like, no, I got lost. He is a gamer. Like, he's really playing this game. He's like got a strategy, right?
He's good with words.
He's good with words.
Yeah, Kato mentions that. Like, you're good with words. You could talk yourself out of anything. Let me see what you can do.
Right.
So I'm interested to see, you know, what he talks himself into as well as talks himself out of.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And I'm impressed that he's tried this 7 times and he's gotten away with it each time and just said, "Oh, I was lost." So I think.
Wait, did they say he tried it 7 times, or it was somebody else?
He
went to the same place 7 times, so he should have known this route. But
okay, that makes
I think
a lot more sense.
he knew what he was doing. Like, I've been here so many times, I would know what I have to say in order to get out of this.
He was good. Master, I didn't do it. I
know, he turned it. Right. And then, of course, he tries to see Rosalie, and that's how he sees her and meets her, is that he gets his lashes, and then he's like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm like, wait a minute.
Because she looked at that thing like, this lick ain't that bad.
Right.
Like, this ain't that bad. He's like, yeah, we all pretending. Which is such a true statement about life in general. Aren't we all pretending in some way about something?
Right. And I mean, especially if you think about this, you know, being a slave, I mean, none of us, thank God, have had to go through what our ancestors have gone through. But you got to pretend like you are going to make it through life every day. So, you know, like you got to wake up in the morning.
Pretend to be a slave, because they didn't bring slaves over. They brought doctors, they brought educators, they brought scientists over and made them slaves.
Right.
So they're pretending that they're slaves, and it's something that they're not really slaves, you know?
You got to wake up every day to work for someone.
Yeah, I think they were pretending that there was another life out of, you know, being a slave.
Right.
And I think that's something they have to consciously tell themselves every day.
Right.
Like, there's something else. There's going to be, but there's really no way out of it in their reality.
It's hard watching this.
It really was.
It's very hard.
It really was hard.
So Noah, of course, we see that he's a charmer. We see that he's got a way with words. He's very driven. He's got a strategy. There's a fire behind his eyes to, as Kato points out, for him to become free. He's doing a lot. The image of him being caught when he had those things, the bells around his neck.
Yeah.
First of all, I was like, why does he have to have those? Is it because he's in the front?
They made it so...
Like, why is he was the only one that had the bells on.
Well, maybe they feared him a little more because he's a little bit bigger and stronger compared to the other ones.
Either that or he's in the front of the line. I was like, okay, maybe the line leader, because you can't get out the chains without the line leader. I don't know.
They just made it dramatic. He's over there like...
Possibly, you know, I think he was from a different plantation than the other ones too, so it could be another reason. Yeah. They were just all around slave hunters, you know, they were taking them back to different plantations. That
just makes my skin crawl when I see that, and I see, like, how could you do that to somebody? How could you...
Inhumane.
Yeah.
It's inhumane. I honestly can't even fathom.
And what's so disgusting to me is that this all happened like 150, 160 years ago. Like, that's really, really recent.
Yeah, I know.
We don't think about that. We think it's like all so far in the past. And it's really not.
Jamie, I just want to say, I feel like you're like the Hawks family in here. John and his wife Elizabeth.
Okay, I'm glad I'm the good one.
Jamie,
yeah, you're the good one. And you're like, this is gonna go 1 of 2 ways.
Pause.
You're gonna be the one that does the Underground Railroad house for us, right?
I would have, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Jamie.
Jamie was going like this the whole time.
I think it would be interesting to share, because I think a lot of people are going to say, you know, us being, the 3 of us being African American, of course we would be interested in a show. What interests you in wanting to talk about a show like this?
Right.
Well, I saw previews and I thought it looked good. There was a lot of great action scenes, and I could tell that it was an interesting story.
Right.
So for me, it doesn't really matter like what ethnicity the people are. It just seems like a really good story, and I wanted to watch it.
And it definitely is. But as far as we've seen so far, I mean, we were at the end of the episode like,
everybody was like. And it was crazy because I was getting so excited about the show, just like reading like blogs and reviews. And then this morning when I was driving, John Legend was on 92.3 with Big Boy, and he was talking about the show. And because, you know, Get Lifted Entertainment executive produced the whole show, so that's how John Legend's involved.
Yep.
And he was just talking about like how he met with the careers, Misha and I can't think of the other guy. Joe Pakaski. And how they've worked on some other shows, Sons of Anarchy, and they developed this. And he was just like, it was such an original story of us telling our own story in such a unique way that he had to get on top of it.
Right.
So it was just like, I was like itching to get here tonight to just watch the show and just see what he was talking about.
Right. And it's not just like old Negro hymns, which I thought was going to be like, oh, here go spirituals. All right. But I mean, of course we have that in the show, but then we've got Kanye West. What's the name of the song?
That's another thing he talked about this morning. He said that, because it was just so action-filled, that it was also having period pieces, but some are bridging the gap in generations. You know, some of the music
and the
today
time.
is way better
Right.
for the action pieces.
Right, and that, I agree with him
The music
totally.
sequence is amazing. I love the music. It's amazing.
All right, let's talk about Rosalie, played by Journey Smollett-Bell. Beautiful. She's
Amazing.
a house slave, as we see. I mean, she's a house slave. We see,
Yeah.
you know, we see like there's a lot of people that don't talk about you're a field slave or you're a house slave. She's in the house. She has to be well kept clean. You see, she's light skinned. Her mom is light skinned.
And they talk about her looks a lot. Like
Yeah.
how,
But you see, she's naive to that. I don't think she realizes how beautiful she is and how the missus of the house doesn't like her because of that.
or her mom.
Or,
Yeah.
you know, her mom has this fear for her life because of that, because of her beauty.
Right. And I think she's just kind of like, I feel like it comes off to me that she's saying to people, like, why is everyone so caught up about me being in the house? And, you know, even though she's never
slave
worked in
is
the
a
field,
slave.
yeah, exactly. She wants to let people know, like, just because I'm in the house, I'm still not free. Like, I don't get, it's not that much better.
Yeah.
Still, it's some kind of slavery. It's not anything that I should be happy about.
Yeah.
You know, and I love. First of all, I've loved Journey Smollett-Bell since she was. You remember that show? Like
her whole name.
because I mean, we'll say
It's
Journey.
hard not to say it.
But she's got a cool name. But when her family, you remember? Does anyone remember this? She was on a show back in the day with her family called like All of Us or something like that.
All of Us. That was a different show.
No, maybe it wasn't All of Us. It was her brothers, her sisters, all of them.
I heard there was a show with all of them. But
Right. This was like, I remember being super little, but it was a sitcom and it was so much fun. And all of them, I'm talking about Jessie
Like the
and like,
Jacksons.
right, everybody in her family, all 6 kids or something.
We'll actually see Jesse on this in an episode or two, I think, too.
Right. How cool is that?
I know, yeah.
I can't wait to see
Empire comes to Underground.
I know.
You know what I love in this? There's a recurring theme of family. Everybody's doing something for future generations of family. The slave owners, the slaves. It's like, I don't want my family to grow up in this. Either we're going
Right.
to escape or die here.
Right.
Or we're going to, sell slaves to make it our family better in the future. So I love that recurring theme in it. Like, it's always a theme in
And
it.
I think in that world, family is all you have because
Right.
there's really no hope, but maybe the hope for your children.
Right. And that's a good thing that Rosalie's mom, Ernestine, says. That she's like, you never know fear until you have children.
That was some good writing right
That
there.
was. Good
That
job,
was
Misha
some
Green
good
and Joe
writing.
Kasky. Like, that was... When she said it, because it was real, here you have Serafina, who should be celebrating the fact that she had a baby. Big Zeke's excited. He's got his first son. And then Serafina drowns the baby because there's
Fears that
There's
living
no
in
hope.
this
no
world.
hope. You know what I mean? And so that's true. She's just like, I didn't know fear until I had till I had you guys.
And it's sad that she would rather kill her baby than have the baby grow up in
Right.
that life.
As a slave. No
That's
freedom.
just, oh my goodness. And you guys, what happened when you saw the scene where Rosalie is getting whooped?
Oh, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm over here looking
You know
at
what?
my arms.
I saw you guys looking away, but it was just, you just saw so much power in her as an actress and also her character. And then, towards the end, when she looks up and sees Noah watching her, you just see the power behind her decision and what she do to protect her family.
Right.
She knew that he's just a little boy. She loves children. She was already hurt by the death of this other child. You just saw her step up to a different level in who her character's going to be. You're going to see so many more layers throughout the
Right.
series.
Yes.
Yeah, I do agree with you, but I did almost start crying
I
myself.
was
too.
crying.
It was
I
so
did.
intense. I just had to look away.
I know, my eyes were tearing up, and I was actually about to be like, I'm about to start that. I had to like catch
I was
myself
like,
and get
let's
myself
not do that.
together.
I know, I was like-
let me stay nice looking, because I got an ugly cry, you guys. Like, it's really ugly. But yeah, especially when you saw that whip go and you saw her snap back, that's what got me right there.
The hatred from on the other end of that whip.
And
how
I
he
think,
just
sorry, I just interrupted you. What also was astonishing to me was the plantation owner and his wife were just sitting there watching. Like, it didn't even, they just were watching.
His wife wanted it to happen. She wanted it to happen.
And aren't they from the north? They're actually from like
Well, I think Tom Hawks, who is the plantation owner, is from the north.
yeah.
But his wife, I'm sure, is probably from the area.
Okay.
Yeah, she's jaded. We heard her talking to his brother's wife, saying, "We are down here keeping the economy going."
Right.
And she was like, "They're just activists for Negro rights." And it's like, what? You keep the economy going?
Right.
Like, what world do you live in?
That's how a lot of Southern people thought. Like, that's what we're doing. We're building a strong country here using this free labor known as slaves. Like, our country was built on the backs of slaves. You know what I mean? That's an ugly
from the
truth.
beginning.
ugly truth, but it is our truth. And, you know, you see this here, the contrast between the Northerners and Southerners, and how some people are like, this isn't humane. Other people are like, this is a way of life. We have a little boy fanning you. Like,
just to see her look in her eyes when she watched him. That was such a strong moment
for me with her character, because she just looked at him. She was like, that speech she gives when she's looking in the mirror, that was so strong and powerful. She's like, that's disgusting.
Yes, so we're talking about Elizabeth Hawks, the wife of John Hawks.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like, and I was wondering what she was looking at when she was sitting there eating her cake and the women were talking to her. Did you see her staring? She kept looking up. I was like, oh, you know, she's a little crazy. She just sledgehammered the wall.
Like, I wish you'd talk about her. I was like, is this one crazy too?
Right. Like, I was like, I could tell she's crazy.
I think she's just really, really hurt.
Right.
Because she's, you know, having a hard time having children, so this is driving her insane.
Yeah. Right.
But that intense stare, like, to finally learn what she was staring at, it's like, wow, like, now we're going to see something other than her being, you know, self-involved.
Yeah, I guess. So self-absorbed.
Right. You know, and it's understandable, of course, she lost her baby or she can't have kids. And then, of course, back in the day, like, that's what a woman's, that's your work was.
That was your work.
Had children. You know, and so it's really great to see how her character comes full circle, and she goes, you know, instead of us putting our family first and not helping slaves, let's put our family first and help slaves.
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
Very interesting.
So then let's talk about, well, since we're talking about Elizabeth Hawks, let's talk about John Hawks. I think it was very brave of him to go on the steps in D.C. and to talk about the Dred Scott case that was going on, and to say how unfair it is and how this man followed the letter of the law. He's still in chains.
Although no one was listening to
him.
I love how they panned out, and it's
but
like...
I mean, that hasn't changed. You know, that happens today.
Right.
You know, so I think they were just kind of like, when they were creating this, they knew that they were...
A parallel.
Make a parallel to today and then. Like, what has changed in those same scenarios over the 150, 160 years? Nothing.
We don't have shackles on our hands anymore.
No, but we still have people... But, you know, metaphorically, we still have people following the law to the T and doing what they're supposed to do, and still, you know, not getting a winning battle.
I just want to say, I think it's really good about, you know, to see this side of slavery, because usually when in slavery movies, we'll see... like the evil white slave master and the oppressed slaves, and that's it. And so the fact that we get to see a person who is related to the slave master and has a completely conflicting view on life, I think it's just, there's so many layers to the show, and it makes me want to tune in more.
It also makes me question, does he really have a conflicting view?
Well, I think, I mean, you hear for a moment that he does. You know, when he talks to his wife and she's looking in the mirror and he says, and John Hawks says to her, you know, like, that's fine. My brother wants me to run his campaign. It might be, you know, it might
Well, I'm saying, do Tom and John really have conflicting views? I think that would be something we see later.
Right.
Although he's a plantation owner, it seems like he might have something in him that we might see later on.
Really?
No.
I just want to...
No.
Just because, why would he let this character Noah, like, just go? It's something in him that it makes me question whether he adapted to this, like this way of thinking. Was he always thinking this way before he even became plantation owner, or what?
No, he adapted. He says it, and now he likes it. I think
he says that he adapted to like the culture as far as like the accent and everything. So it makes me wonder, was that also his mindset? Like, he adapted his mindset. He changed the way he thought. So he didn't necessarily say that he changed the way he thought. He said he changed the way he lived, almost the culture. You know.
What do you think, Jamie?
I think he's really evil, and I think
I think he's evil.
And I think he thinks Noah would never be able to escape ever. So I think that's why he was kind of okay with it, but he also believed Noah's lies. So I have no sympathy for him.
Right. I think it's his arrogance that he's blinded by, because here he is. He just wants to be senator. He wants the power that comes with being a politician. You know, so he moved down here to get this plantation. He changed his accent. You know, he's just which is stupid. No, he changed his accent to be Southern instead of being.
Yeah, you know, he changed his accent.
So it's like he's really all about. He's just got a political. You know, he doesn't care. His daughter's birthday party, he's turned it into a political soiree. He's inviting, you know, the best of the best, because he's not concerned with his daughter's birthday. He wants to be senator. So I mean, I think for him, I do agree. Maybe he's not as. Maybe we'll see something different. I'll just say that.
Maybe he has like a sprinkle of something like, you know.
Like, I could see him jumping sides and going like, okay, well, the South has fallen. No, I'm saying like the South has fallen. Let me see whose side of the North I can get on.
He's more the follower,
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's really all about just
following,
Right. He just wants to be have that power. So it doesn't matter what side it comes from. If he has to do away with the South, then he will.
They make his character and his wife's character very crude. And I think they do it on purpose for a reason. And maybe we'll see over time the arc of the characters, which I love watching the arcs of characters, but we'll see. They make them very crude, unusually.
And this is such a, it's so, I think that's the one thing that I mean, there's multiple things that I hate about slavery, but especially because you see the juxtaposition that you beat Rosalie, but you expect her to serve with the same hands. If she doesn't serve correctly, then you're mad at her because you beat her. And then you have the slave, Rosalie's little brother, playing with the Hawk's son, TR. But TR, it was his fault. If you saw that, he ran out there. He's the one that caused the cart to fall back. Yet the little boy, Rosalie's brother, was going to get the lashes for that. Mm-hmm. And then you have, here is Ernestine. She has to do Tom Hawks' daughter's hair for her birthday. And so this is her nanny. This is the woman who's probably she
taking care of her more than her mother.
Right. Yeah. She clearly clings to Ernestine, and she loves Ernestine. And she's like, thank you. You're so awesome. It's wonderful.
That's why she sent Rosalie out there to hurt
But here's the thing. That's not Rosalie's fault. It's not the little boy's fault. It's this is what you've done. You've created this paradigm where your daughter loves the nanny more because you had a nanny there for her. Like, you had a woman there that had to take care of her, and now you're mad and jealous that your daughter likes this woman more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the things. It's just so unfair. There's just so much disparity and unfairness when it comes to slavery, and that's just a few examples of it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Ernestine, by the way. So here's the one thing I was wondering. Rosalie is super light. We see that. Ernestine is pretty fair-skinned.
Is she his daughter?
I don't think so.
Who?
Is Rosalie the Hawk's daughter?
I feel like in history that happened a lot.
I don't think she's his daughter. I think she might be another slave.
But
owners.
Well, okay, because the reason why I asked it is because Tom Hawks says he's owned the plantation for 20 years.
20 years.
She seems to be.
And Rosalie has never left that plantation.
Right. So is she his daughter? Is she someone else's daughter?
That's an interesting. I'm interested to see.
I think either she is his daughter or it's just some type of relationship between Ernestine and Rosalie and that slave owner, Tom. There's something in there. That's why it's adding to the disdain of his wife.
I don't think he could have watched his daughter get beat like that.
Oh,
it happens all the time.
Because he probably
has to show
50
face.
kids. I mean, I don't know about 50, but a lot on the plantation. So
Right.
I don't know.
It's possible.
It's possible. We'll see. I guess in the upcoming.
I would
because
love
normally,
to see if they tie that in.
Normally, they're not just out here selling lighter skinned slaves. They weren't just sold like that as freely.
Yeah.
You kept those, in the house. You kept them. So they weren't just selling them as often, as far as history is saying.
Okay.
And for the slave woman, it could be advantageous to have an affair with the slave master because then maybe he'll treat you better.
Right, that's true.
Save her children.
Not on 12 Years a Slave. That's not funny, guys.
All right. And then we also see that in addition to Noah, Rosalie, there's we've got a preacher, Big Moses, or not Big Moses, but Moses the preacher. He's got one eye. Of course, Noah thinks that he can read, but it's actually his wife who can read, which is like a dun dun dun, because of course slaves were not allowed to read. You learn how to read, you learn about freedom, you learn to get away. So
it empowers you. They don't like that. Yeah.
Side note. People read. Everybody needs to read, okay? Reading's important. And if you don't know that it's important, you need to watch this episode again and see why reading is important, okay? Just saying. All right, so then we also see Big Zeke, who's strong as an ox. He loses his child. I think he's got nothing but like red in his eyes after what happened.
I think he's at the point where he's saying, I have nothing else to lose. And at this point, the only thing that's going to happen to us is a horrible death if we stay here. So I might as well jump on board.
There's a lot of foreshadowing.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Right. And then Henry, who is Noah's friend. I just feel like Henry's going to die, you guys.
I think that about Big Zeke. I feel like he's
I think Big Zeke probably, but I feel like he's going to make it farther than Henry because
Big Zeke ain't going to go out with a fight, okay? He ain't going to go down fight.
I don't see how they keep him around knowing that he could probably take all of them.
Well, I think that I think
well,
they
if
know.
you enslave somebody's mind, you enslave them physically. So I think if you tell them enough times you're nothing, you're a slave, I own you, you're property, like, you know, people start to believe that.
They already said that they saw him take down, you know, somebody who tried to get on Serafina before, you know, so they know what buttons to press and what not to press, you know.
What was the guy? What was the guy's ethnicity who was?
No, I think he was definitely a slave.
Slave, okay,
for sure. But because you see the slaves trying to pull him off.
It took about 3 or 4 of them to pull him off.
And one of the, I guess, slave wranglers was white. So it took like 4 guys. So then we also see Mr. Cato. What do you guys think about Mr. Cato, played by Eleno Miller? Hey, shout out.
Eleno Miller was actually tweeting from Entertainment Weekly today. One of the ones, you know how they take over Instagram, and y'all gotta follow him. He only has like 909 followers on Instagram, and that's just kind of sad. So everybody just go follow him because his character,
Miller.
I think his character is gonna be really interesting. Although he's gonna be the one everyone hates, because
I think he's gonna end up like being the one everybody loves by the end.
And he's also coming on our show on March 30th.
Yes.
Hopefully we can get him some followers, because we don't want everybody to miss out on his talent, because it was actually really good to see that contrasting character.
Yeah.
And I interviewed him actually for our sister station, Black Hollywood Live. You guys go check that out. Actually, the whole cast, John Legend's on there, Journey Smollett-Bell, Aldous Hodge. You guys check that out, because they said some really good things. And the one thing Eleno Miller said was, I asked him about his character, if people would love him or hate him, and he was like, you have to watch and see to see if you really love or hate my character.
I think you can get where his character's coming from. This is about survival.
Right.
Everything is about survival. He doesn't have a family. All he's looking out for is himself.
But from his past, you know, they can't trust him. You know, he is a by-the-book type slave, so that's why Noah's apprehensive, because it's like they
all want the same thing, freedom. No matter how high he is, he wants to be free too.
And at the same time, look at Mr. Cato's face. He has something has happened to him already, so you can't help but be angry after somebody's disfigured you for something that you know probably wasn't even bad.
Yeah.
You know, so he still has that hatred, but he's turned it around, and he's probably like, you know what? I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna make the massa so happy that I'm his right hand man, but I'm really not, because look at him. He's been able to play Tom Hawks. If you notice that when Noah comes back to the plantation, he tells him, he's like, like it's whatever. So it kind of like makes it seem like he has more power. Just because he plays the right hand man, and he's like, I'll watch these slaves for you. They're nothing.
But if you were Noah, would you trust him?
Of course not.
No, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you think harder like that, it's like what has happened to his face, and we'll probably learn later on. Maybe it is a reason to trust him. Like, listen, everybody does want freedom, and if he's willing to blackmail me to get it, maybe I should trust his butt.
He reminds me of Samuel L. Jackson's character in Django.
Oh,
right. Yes.
I'm telling you, he knows her.
Samuel L. Jackson's character made me angry. Like,
he was the ultimate snitch.
But he was kind of a
character
snitch.
I have sympathy for. I'm not completely share hatred towards him.
We don't share hatred towards him yet. I think that, you know, his character, we might end up, you know, having a little bit of dislike for, because he's that by the book slave. So it may be some things where they bump heads, where no one everybody bumps heads with him, you know. So.
Yeah, it was kind of messed up. He's like, "You gonna let me run away with y'all, or I'm gonna tell him where all the stuff is, where
he
card
didn't
is."
tell though, like the fact
we don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
Well, the fact that he hasn't told yet, and he does know, and he's kind of waiting.
Wait, we don't know if he really knows, because no one never told him where it was.
But they found it. So
wait, he said they did find it, or
he's claiming that he found it, and he's trying to use this information to blackmail Noah into.
But he could have just told Massa.
Well, I don't think he knows where it is for sure, because it wouldn't have been Mr. Cato that had found it. Like, he wouldn't have been the one that got the information.
Cato would have. Yeah,
he said no. At the end, he was like, we found it. I don't know if it was him and other people.
But that's what I'm saying. I think, is he lying?
No, I think he does know where. But he's like, you need to tell me.
I think he knows that whether or not he knows or not, the master will believe him.
Right. True.
So it's up to Noah to decide which way he's gonna go.
I think he knows something is going on and that they want to escape, but maybe he doesn't know the specific map or whatever.
Oh, do you think he's trying to like smoke him out? Like, tell me that you're trying to escape, and so he knows for sure to tell them. Or
no, I think that's why Noah is apprehensive, because he doesn't know. Is he
whether
really
trying to escape, or he's trying to get this information from his master?
Right. Yeah. That's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I don't know. I think Mr. Cato. My money's on the fact that he really does have an anger towards his owners because of what has happened to him in his own life. You know, he's by himself. He doesn't have a family at all. So that means either his family's been killed or he's been sold and separated from them. So that's enough to make a person angry. He's got disfigured, you know, he's been burned up somehow. That's another reason why he's probably angry, because somebody did that to him. So I think we'll see. And then he recognizes the angry passion that Noah has for freedom. You see how he pulls it out of him, and like Noah snaps at him.
He sees a lot of himself in Noah, and I think they're gonna become really good friends. I'm foreshadowing that, but I love characters that have that dual kind of personality. Like, they could be good or bad. You don't know,
right?
But they end up being the best characters.
You notice that only the slaves are the ones that can see the fire of freedom behind people's eyes, the other slaves' eyes. It's not the masters and the slave owners and everybody on the plantation that is white doesn't see that. But every time another slave looks in another slave's eyes, it's like, I see the fire behind your eyes. You want freedom. You're going for it.
Give us freedom. You want to be free.
You need to let me in on this trip.
Well, is Kato the one watching people behind the tree? Who is that?
I think so.
Yeah, he's like the one. He's literally like, if you think about it, I mean, it's a tactic, mental tactic to say, hey, I'm gonna have somebody that looks just like you in charge of you, because now you're not. What that does is that pulls that person out of, like, they can't be cool with everybody, because it's like, oh, you're gonna snitch on us. Your job is to snitch on us.
And it makes them feel a little bit more. Yeah,
and it makes them feel like they have a little more power. It makes them feel like a little better. And then, you know, it's just a mental tactic that I'm sure that a lot of these slave owners did, was, let me have somebody that looks like you over you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Let's talk about August.
August, really, that tripped me out.
Because I'm still like, wait a minute, guys, is he bad or is he good? Because at the beginning,
he's definitely bad.
Is he though?
I think he's gonna do whatever it takes to make the money to take care of his wife.
Go ahead.
No, go.
Oh, at first I thought he was so nice and he was helping. And when the woman asked him, why are you doing this? He said, because of his son. And you think because he wants his son to grow up in a better world, but then you find out he wants money for his son or for his family.
His wife, yeah, because at the very beginning we see that August, who cannot read, he has to go, and his wife, I guess, is in some kind of an asylum. She's angry, belligerent, and he's got to pay extra money every single time, you know, because of the stuff that's going on with her being in this mental place. So he needs money, but he
tripped me out.
Here's my thing, like, it just makes a question, because he has, I don't know, is the guy his slave or not?
Oh, the guy who was his hand?
With his hand with his son. Is that his slave or not?
It probably is his slave.
Is it really about him being a slave, or is he really just like, this is the way to make the extra moolah to take care of my wife, so I'm just going to do what I got to do?
I think that's what we're going to see with his character, because that's when I asked him that question as well, people going to love you or hate you, and he was just like, I think most people will hate me, but they'll see, my character's not a bad guy. So I think that's what it is.
It's like, is this character?
Yeah, he's not a bad guy. So I think what it is like, okay, we want to hate him because he's recapturing slaves. But at the same time, I feel like he's going to have a change of heart or something, because you see that he's a decent man. How many slave owners would have told their son, no, you're going to watch us shoot this, horse in the head because you need to grow up and you need to be a man. He was like, no, go play ball. Go throw your baseball.
He drank after her.
Right.
That's a huge thing. And at times they would have thrown that out because she drank. He gave her water. True. He drank after her.
And made a point to be like...
Yeah, I feel like he doesn't really care so much about, like, black and white, but just wants to do the best for himself and his family. Yeah. So that's why he could later turn maybe better, but I think he's just out for himself.
Just about the money. Right?
Yeah.
It'd be cool if he's playing both sides to make it look like he's trying to capture slaves, but then he's going to help the slaves,
Right, and he knows a lot about the Underground Railroad. You see when he is taking his cart past the slaves that have been recaptured, you see the cloth that's on a stick. That was one of the signs, like, you go this way. This is like, that was like a sign. So
I thought she ripped her dress, and that's how he knew she was.
Is that what it was? No, but what I'm saying, like, for the Underground Railroad, there was always signs and stuff, and so if you were a part of it, you knew what it was. Like, oh, this tree is bent this way. We did this with this tree. Or there's a post here, and we put a mark here.
So that's why he knew exactly where she was.
I think she did rip her dress.
All right, my bad. That's what.
And he was like, that's why he was like, I know you're out here, I've seen, like, he could see all the signs that she was there and stuff, but he still knew when he drew the map for her, he knew.
Yeah, he knows where everything is. So that's why I'm like, we're going to find more about his character. Maybe he used to be a part of the Underground Railroad, but his wife got
he said he's taken the trip for many times. So that means either he knows it because he knows when he needs some extra money, I'm gonna go this route to capture them,
lives.
or he's just saying I've helped other people, you know, or whatever it may be.
That's confusing.
It is.
I love that though. I love when you have characters that you don't know if you can trust. Because I don't like when it's easy, when it's like, okay, Sally Sue, this is the bad people, here's the good people.
Right.
This is very kind of like crazy
Maybe
mind games.
maybe it's not a regular thing for him. Maybe he only does it when she needs some extra money to pay for,
right?
You know, the bills for her.
That's so messed up. Though. I feel like that's worse. That is so horrible. I think. Like, you know, I'm a capture slaves, and I'm gonna help you to freedom. It just depends on what day of the week and how much money I have in my pocket.
He doesn't hurt them. You know,
put his jacket around her, walked her in. She was like, she called me Angel.
Yeah.
Like,
he's just manipulative, you know.
I know, because what if that was you? If I was that woman, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'll kill myself right now. Because, like, how confusing is this? I thought this man was helping me. You're already a nervous wreck, like, looking over your shoulder, paranoid, somebody's going to catch me. And then this man, you're like, I don't want to trust him, but he's nice to me. So then, you know, that's confusing. Yeah. All these mind games.
Yeah. It's a lot of mind games.
The whole show is like that, yeah.
I think the show will be. I'm excited to see what happens. See the Macon 7 make it off the plantation.
Macon 7.
This is a fun series. I'm glad we see that, you know, this side of slavery, because we always see the oppressive side. Now we've got these people who are like really trying to get off this. They're strategizing. I mean, the previews for the next week and the next couple of weeks looks like it's going to be so
action. It's gonna be live. Like that gave me chills.
Right. Yeah. I just think that I was happy that this first episode, like we just talked about characters, that's what the first episode gave us. Although there was storyline too, it just introduced to every character and allow us to find what character we want to gravitate to and kind of get to know and, you know, think about what's going to happen next with this person. What are we going to learn about their past? Mm-hmm. So I think they did a really good job of that.
One thing that I also really liked was the historical names. They threw in Dred Scott and also William Still, who were both historical figures. Right. And I thought that was really cool, like connecting it to the actual history in the fiction.
They did good with this one. Yeah, they definitely did good with this one.
They definitely did some research and made it of the time.
Yeah, so. All right, so make sure you guys stay tuned for our episodes coming up, because we're going to have people from the cast on this show. Do you have any news and gossip? Anybody?
I think I shared all the news I had. I was reading and hearing people talk about it, so like that.
You're not following the format, Gary. It's all right, though.
It got me so excited for the show, because I was like, oh, you know, I really want to watch it, but when hearing them talk about it, like it gets you more amped up.
Yeah, for sure.
I love how they put the Empire boards with the WGN for Underground boards, right? By each other on Sunset, so it's like
the billboards for them.
The billboards, they're right in front of you, like by each other, so you can see both of them. It's really cool. Yeah.
Okay, Smollett family, y'all just taking over. You're taking over. All right, let's do some predictions.
And now your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Okay, so everybody, let's do one prediction different from your neighbor.
Okay, well, I guess I want to predict that is going to take at least 3 or 4 episodes before they actually start trying to get off the plantation and try to leave. I thought it was going to be the next episode, but it looks like they're still trying to get it together, but it might be 3 or 4 episodes.
Okay.
Till we see that.
She has something going with that, because the first 4 episodes are directed by the same guy, so it's kind of going to start the momentum for the show.
Shout out to Anthony Hemingway, by the way. He's an amazing director.
Like, really good. Like, really the way it's starting out, it's just so good. I think that Kato's going to do something that we can't trust him for. He's going to break the trust somehow and have to regain it.
Ooh, Jamie?
I think there's going to be a romance between, beautiful name, Rosalie and Noah.
I think you're right.
Yeah, me too. I think that's like obvious.
I think somebody's gonna die before they get off the plane. No, I don't want it, but I want to, brace myself.
It has to be some casualties.
Somebody's gonna die, you guys.
How many people do you think is gonna actually?
Henry's not gonna be around for long. Poor Henry.
Henry is probably a pretty good guess.
Henry.
It has to be somebody that's gonna hit them hard.
Yeah, Big Zeke probably too.
Yeah,
not even. I think Moses is gonna make it. I think Moses is going to... That's why I'm McKelty Williamson. He's a bigger named actor. They're probably not going to kill him off soon. So I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be Noah, Rosalie, Moses, and Mr. Cato that'll probably make it off for sure without dying.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see who makes it.
See how many seasons we go with them trying to escape.
I know. Do you think they'll make it this season?
Yes.
You think
no,
they can't. If they're trying to redo it, no, they can't get off this season.
I don't know, but how long can when you drag it on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're getting our freedom still.
It's about the chase. It's about the storylines, about the love. It's about the the action. So they're gonna have so much to do.
Maybe they'll make it and then they'll come back and
they'll get recaptured.
Make it like an anthology.
Harriet Tubman actually, she escaped successfully and then she went back and saved more. So.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah, Rosalie is like that. Oh, I like that.
Rosalie.
Or maybe they'll get recaptured.
And once they're in the north, they can't get.
Girl, yes, you can. They drag many slaves back from the north. Yes. Ooh, this is gonna be good, you guys.
So I guess, yeah.
Yes. Let us know what you guys think. Use the hashtag #UndergroundWGN. We want to see your comments because we know you love the show as much as we do. Where can we find you guys?
You can find me at Just Lina Green on Twitter, Facebook, and Lena.Green0032 on Facebook, I think.
I am Gary Thomas on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I am GaryThomas.com.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JamieBanks_, and I'll tweet you back.
And you can find me, Megan Thomas, at Meg Scoop on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Periscope. We love you guys. We'll see you next week right here at AfterBuzz TV for WGN's Underground Recap.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.